Konnichiwa. My name is Rohit Shiv Prasad and I'm the founder of RSPinJAPAN. In today's video, I am going to share with you the secrets of learning kanjis. I had taken a challenge to actually complete N2 within 6 months, and the time that I got to learn everything was actually 4 months. So in other words, I can simply say that I cleared N2 in 4 months. Well, there has to be a strategy to learn kanji, so I'm going to share it with you. So let's begin. In today's video, we are going to learn about how to effectively learn kanjis and how to increase our efficiency with learning these kanjis. Also, how to read them properly, or how we can make a guess if a question comes or if an unknown kanji appears in front of us. Well, all I can say is that till now you might have been learning it wrong, or you might have been told to learn everything about it. Well, the first tip or the first thing that I want to share with you is that you do not need to learn the Onomi and kunyomi of every kanji. When I say this, I mean that no one is ever going to ask you what is the Onomi of this kanji or what is the Onomi of that kanji. No one is ever going to test you on that. Also in jlpt, no one is going to ask you, tell me the Onomi of this kanji or tell me the Onomi of that kanji. So you can relax, because till now the students that I have taught, the main problem that arises is how do I remember all the Onomis and kunyomis, because after some time they all sound the same, they are actually the same. So how do I remember them? Well, here's the second tip. The second thing that you need to keep in mind while learning the kanjis is that learn the vocabulary. Now the first thing that I said is that you do not need to learn the Onomi and kunyomi, right? But you might end up, or you will end up, learning the Onomi and kunyomis. So here's another thing. Mostly or usually when a kanji is written singularly, or the meaning of the kanji and the reading of the single kanji is usually the kunyomi. Not always, but usually. And the rest are simply Onomi. Now, you have to understand that while learning kanjis, if you learn the vocabs, you will eventually end up learning the Onomis of the kanjis used in the vocab. Let's take an example. Jikan. As I told you before, you do not need to learn the Onomi and kunyomi. Just simply learn what it means in English and just learn the Japanese word for it. For example, the first kanji, which is this one, it means toki. Toki means time. Now, the second kanji, which is this one, means aida, which is period or between. As I told you in the second tip, that learn from the vocab. Once you learn jikan, you have learned a lot of things at once without knowing that you actually learned it. If I asked you, please tell me the Onomi of this kanji, you can simply remember or think about the vocabs that you have learned that start with this kanji, or if this kanji is included. As we took the example jikan, the first Onomi that should come to your mind will be ji, and you're completely right with that. So with this, you will save a lot of time and avoid a lot of confusion and end up learning everything that you require. Now I am going to tell you how to actually make a guess in jlpt when it comes to kanjis. Now what happens here is, first thing, there are various types of questions in jlpt because they want to test you on particular things. The first thing that I can remember is that they would test you on radicals, or if you remember what a kanji actually means. Kanjis are actually made of radicals. So to understand that, let's take a set of kanjis here. The first one is for wait, machi. The second one is to take or hold, which means mochi. The third one is toku. So as you can see here, the kanjis look very similar, but the radicals are different in the first part. So jlpt is going to test you whether you actually know it or not. Now, if you know it, it's very good. If you don't, you can actually make a guess depending upon the radicals. The second one, as you can see, is the radical used here is the radical of hand. So you can actually guess, okay, this must be something related to actions with hands or something like that. So hold. If you don't know the meaning, it's completely fine, but you can go with the guess. So with the knowledge of radicals, you can actually make a good guess and might be able to eliminate a few of the options so that you can mark the correct option, or the probability of marking the right answer might increase. Now, the second type of questions are that if you actually know the readings well, which means this kanji, which is for studying, benkyo, they will give you options like benkyo, benkyo, bengyo, bengyo. The correct answer is the first one, benkyo. So you have to make sure how you can avoid these kind of mistakes is while you're learning the kanjis, just make sure that you are very loud and clear while pronouncing them. For example, if you write benkyo, instead of saying benkyo, 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 remember them as benkyo. Just give it a little time to extend that kyo so that it sits in your mind. Now coming to some other things that kanjis can actually help you with. As I told you, learn the meaning of it in English. So in reading section, what happens there is that you are given a lot of words that you don't know the meaning of. If you're very good with kanjis, then you will have no problem. But sometimes you end up seeing the words that you are not aware of. And usually those words are simply the synonyms. So what you can do there is actually simply combine the individual meanings of the kanjis. What I mean by this is, let's take an example of Jido Hambaiki. If you simply see this vocab and if you do not know it, so you can just simply interpret the meaning if you know the meaning of individual kanjis, or you can somewhere up to some extent guess the meaning. The kanji for Jido Hambaiki is this. The first kanji is self, Ji. The second kanji is for activity or for moving. Han Bai is for selling. Ki is for machine. So you can guess the meaning. Self-moving means automatic. Selling is selling. Machine is machine. Automatic selling machine is a vending machine. So you can actually make a guess with the vocab and do well in your reading sections. This is how important kanjis are, and make sure that you learn kanjis. So my very final tip or advice will be that you should be very thorough with kanjis and your vocabularies, because that is going to help you to clear the first two sections of JLPT, which is vocabulary and reading. So I hope that you have understand the concepts, or this might help you to learn kanjis more effectively and take less time to learn them. Thank you, and please subscribe so that you can get more tips and understand more concepts of Japanese language. Thank you.